So I've mentioned before how much I love poetry, and poetry to me is so powerful because you can get across this idea or this emotion in a short amount of time. And really, one of the places that got me more connected deeply and or more deeply connected into my love of poetry is Button Poetry. And Button Poetry is a company that one, they have a YouTube channel, and every day they put out a new poem, basically. And it's slam poetry. So I will give you a heads up, especially if you're a teacher, you want to pre-screen those poems to make sure they're appropriate for your classes, because there are a variety of poets, and they are sharing a variety of different types of poems. But there is some fantastic stuff that's definitely worth showing to your class. One of the poems that caught me early on was a poem from this book, and so this was the first Button Poetry book I bought because they publish these chapbooks. So this is Depression and Other Magic Tricks by Sabrina Benaim, and I hope I pronounced her last name correctly. But she has a poem in this book that, and I'm just going to look at the table of contents here and see if I can tell you what it is, if there's a table of contents. There it is. It's called Explaining My Depression to My Mother, a Conversation. And I have found as a teacher, and I think other teachers would agree with this, that the number of students that we have that are wrestling with depression is definitely growing. And so I thought that this poem was so powerful because it really helped me to understand depression in a different way. It helped me to understand a little bit more of what my students are going through and family members who have wrestled with depression. And it's powerful in the written word in this chapbook, but even more powerful if you see Sabrina perform it. By the end of the poem, I feel like your heart is beating like wildly, and you are feeling maybe an iota of what she's feeling, you know. So this book is so good. It deals not just with her depression, although that is one of the strongest themes throughout the book, but it also deals with a lot of aspects of womanhood. It deals with relationships, both platonic and not platonic. It deals with a little bit of sort of the toxic culture in dating and the way men can act at times. But ultimately, it's just a really wonderful book of poetry. This, again, my first foray into button poetry, but there are so many good button poetry books and poets out there. So I really encourage you to connect with that resource. I encourage you to pick up this book, Depression and Other Magic Tricks. It's so good. And then from there, follow the rabbit trail, and you will not regret it.